So the title of this video is what music producers and creative professionals is going to compete with in the future. And if you're rolling your eyes and disagreeing with what I'm saying, that's perfectly fine. It's going to be maybe a little negative video, but I just have to talk about this. I've not talked much about AI in music production on my channel because I think a lot of good information has already been said on other channels, and I feel like I don't have really much to add to this. I have been following the discussion on the sidelines, and while I respect other viewpoints on this field, I don't think I fully agree with everyone. So I realize this video might come off as somewhat negative, but I would like to call today's video more a realistic talk instead, coming from my place at the moment. I hear a lot of arguments that AI is just going to be a tool. AI will never be able to capture human feelings, and the quality is not good enough, and other arguments against people like kind of me that are very much kind of vocally against this development, at least generative AI. And I want to give some comments to these arguments. And the first one is AI is just going to be a tool. So what is a tool? Is it like Drummer in Logic, or is it a Logic mastering plugin that automatically analyzes your track and applies the best mastering chain? It's actually a pretty cool tool. Or maybe it's one of these MIDI or melody generation tools. Yes, I think these are tools, but it's not what I'm talking about. I think your tool is going to be, of course, a text box where you can type, for example, create a country track in the style of Johnny Cash with a story of, some random thing, a story in space. And this tool is going to give you a Johnny Cash track singing about space travel. And it's going to sound exactly like that. It's going to give you 10 examples of tracks that you can use. It's finished tracks. So that is not really a tool. That is kind of a factory that creates a finished product. Just compare it to the AI image creators that we have now. They have been production ready for a long time. You can type, give me a picture of donuts in space, and you will get an image of donuts in space. It's done. You can get 10, 100, 1,000 images, and you can select the one you like. Or if you didn't like that image, just make it a little bit different until you get something that you can use, and it's done. So we are not quite there in generative music production, but we are getting closer and closer. This is not going to stop. I'm sure you have seen YouTube videos about this and other content about, for example, vocals is a big thing now. You might not feel the soul in the vocal, but I get to this later in this video. AI is not just going to be a tool for creative people. It's also going to be a kind of service for people that likes to push buttons, and that's not creative in any shape or form. Then we have the argument about quality, that the quality is not good enough. And I have listened to AI music, and of course I agree with this. I don't think the quality is good enough for something I would listen to, let's say on Spotify or something like that when I'm driving my car. Far from it. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be developed. The quality will increase and it will be better by time. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. And we will get to a point where most people won't hear the difference between human-made music and AI music. And this is also where this kind of financial aspect comes into play. This is one of the reasons I have this little gloom and doom thought about this AI thing, because we as music producers and maybe our fans, they say that we are going to listen to the real music. We are not going to listen to AI music. But as we all know, most of the world is controlled by large corporations. And these corporations, they have one goal, and it's to increase the bottom line as fast as possible to the lowest possible cost. So let's say you rely on music production as your income. Maybe you produce stock music for music libraries, or you are into sync libraries, or you deliver music related creatives to corporations or customers. So you are a human being, so if you're working on a project, you might need some time to get it done. Maybe you need to go back and forth with your contact, make revisions until you're happy with the end results. This obviously takes time, costs money. What if this corporation now have access to a web service for, let's say, $4.99 a year, where some employee can type in, "Give me a modern happy pop track with some EDM or future bass influences." It will spit out 10 tracks, and this employee will eventually find something that perhaps works with the reality TV show or something they are airing or working on. Or we just need a few seconds here, like 5 seconds of some chill lo-fi sounds in this part. Let's see if this tool can give us something that works. And in most cases, you get something that can be usable. And if all else fails, then we can go to our human producers and ask if they can make something for me. I talked briefly with Jesse from Sync My Music about this, and while some libraries are worried about the development, it's not, hopefully not only bad news. Copyright issues with generative music is something that is being discussed everywhere at the moment, and I can share a little story. I have my music on different libraries out there, stock music libraries. It's just because why not? I don't really make music for libraries, so it's more like music you listen to, maybe not music you have in the background of a video, but I have them there anyways. So I had my music on Pond 5, and suddenly I get a few sales here and there, a few occasional months, and then I got an email about like, okay, you have a payout of $150, and I thought, okay, wow, maybe I sold some kind of extended license or something like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I went into that, and I saw it was kind of said some generative thing or AI or something. I don't know what it said, and I studied it more, and it apparently Pond 5 had sold the entire music production library to some company, doesn't know what company it is, that is going to use the music to train their models. What they are going to use the model for, I don't know. After Pond 5 had done this, they told you have an option to opt out, but that was after they had sold the music. So it's kind of, yeah, maybe they was allowed to do that in their terms and services that I should have read, but you know, I don't think it's quite morally correct to do so. I would probably have opted out of it, but now I just... So yeah, when we are talking about these types of tools that AI can perhaps help with searching through a catalog of human-made music to find the perfect track for a project, in that case, it might be a positive use of the tool. And I recommend following Jesse if you're more interested in this topic, because he has decades of experience from the sync world, and he is planning to release more videos talking about this. Then we have this thing about AI that cannot capture human feelings, and I agree that an AI will not be able to capture real human feelings, real human instruments, something that's really important in any creative profession, really. But when I listen to music, obviously I want it to be made by a human being, but that doesn't mean that an AI can be perfectly capable of mimicking human emotions. Most people won't care who has made the content they consume, only if they like it or not. And this is where the financial aspect plays into this subject as well. AI is going to get to a point where it's so good that eventually the content will be created by an untalented button pusher. It's going to be mass-produced content and not art, in my opinion. Especially, I think, in sync and music libraries, or as I mentioned earlier, customers will just skip these libraries and create the content they need for themselves, because they have this web service. They can just download it. I have always been that guy that wants to check out the newest gadgets, computers, or any other technical stuff. I like Star Trek, science fiction, and I think you could call me a nerd or a geek. I just watch my videos on my channel. So one part of me is... I am excited about the technology and the benefits AI perhaps can bring to the human condition. Maybe AI can optimize a lot of different things we humans do. Maybe we can get better agriculture, maybe better healthcare. Maybe it can help with diplomacy between countries, make the world better in some way. Perhaps space travel, I don't know. It's like nuclear energy. It can be used for good and it can be used for bad. About 5 years ago, I was thinking of maybe quitting my job and going full-time as a freelancer, YouTuber, music producer, whatever, do something on the internet. Saved up some money so I could keep myself going for maybe a year and a half without any job or any income. Maybe longer if I could rely on some unemployment benefits we can get here in Norway, but I don't want to take advantage of that. But since I have kids, I have a wife, me and a mortgage, things like that, I decided to stick with being a working man. I can't risk quitting my job. It's a stupid thing, I think, at least if you don't have anything lined up. And I think that was a good decision. I got a new job, a relative okay salary, and meaningful work. And a few years later, I watched Jesse's video about sync, and one of them, he was discussion was what was considered a successful sync career in terms of income. And when I saw that video, I thought, okay, I'm not going to spend 10 years of my life working towards that income. It's not necessarily bad, but where I live, it's not considered that good. Do I want to work for 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, build up a catalog of something that maybe is going to be taken over by AI or generative stuff? No, that's not going to happen. So actually pretty glad that that video was there and I could kind of see that. So what am I doing about this? Well, I can't really do much other than talking about it online. The only thing I know is that I need to have fun when I am in this studio, and if I'm not having fun producing music, I need to stop doing it and do something else. When you have worked a full workday, you're tired, you have worked 8-9 hours, and you feel like music production is a chore sometimes, I think it's wise to just do something else and take a pause and maybe watch some Netflix or do something around the house or something like that. Go out in the woods. For me, I'm mostly producing music and I'm focusing on getting it on places like Spotify and other streaming platforms. And it seems like this is the type of music I produce and it fits best on these types of platforms. I'm going to, of course, keep producing music and I'm releasing it on these platforms for as long as I think it's fun, and I still think it's fun. It's just some days it's not fun. But when it stops being fun, I'm going to pivot, do something else. Libraries also are secondary. I put my music up on those places, but it's not something that I'm going to spend a lot of time focusing on. And it actually seems like Spotify and promotion is what works best for me in this music production space, for me at least. So it's only natural that I focus on what's working for me, especially when I have a full working day and it's not worth it to focus on something that might not pay off. I see that uploading music to Spotify and being on Instagram, I get some followers and I actually get some fans. That's a strange thing for me. I think I have like 5 or 10 fans that likes my music. You know, I don't want to let those down, and I really appreciate each and every one that follow me there. So I don't think it's only doom and gloom, this AI thing, but I think it can be easily exploited, and I think we need to be careful about it. And yeah, we'll just see what happens in the future. I will certainly be talking more about it if something more happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please like and subscribe. Goodbye.